Why do the Blue Ridge Mountains look blue?
Even when they're not?
They're not?
No.
Today we're going to explore one of the most beautiful and mysterious places in the United States, the Blue Ridge Mountains.
So we're coming from you on site here in the Blue Ridge Mountains at Roanoke Mountain Campground outside of Roanoke, close to Mill Mountain Star, all that good stuff. So stay with us so you can learn all about the Blue Ridge Mountains.
I think this is a perfect morning to film. I mean, it's kind of misty, it's eerie. We filmed another video about myths of Appalachian culture, people, everything. Check that out. But whether you're into history, music, or nature, there's something in the Blue Ridge for everyone.
And by the end of this video, you're gonna understand why people have been inspired by the Blue Ridge Mountains for hundreds of years.
Hey, real quick, it's Hal and Chris. If you're interested in buying or selling in Roanoke, make sure you reach out to us with the contact information on the screen.
And be sure to take the neighborhood quiz that's in the description below to find out what part of Roanoke will be best for you. Fact number 1, the Blue Ridge Mountains is ancient land. Did you know that this is part of a larger mountain chain called the Appalachian Mountains?
Yeah, 2 of the best known states for seeing them are actually North Carolina, which we lived in at one point in time,
yes,
and Virginia. So it's like, we just can't get away from it.
I know, I love mountain living. I am not a beach person. I love visiting, but the mountains are my home.
They're definitely calling you home, right?
Yeah, and believe it or not, the Blue Ridge Mountains are some of the oldest mountains in the entire world. Scientists actually think they started forming over 1 billion years ago. And I know, right? And at one time they were taller than the Rocky Mountains.
Over time though, wind, rain, and ice wore them down into the softer, rounder shapes we see nowadays.
Yeah, so when you're hiking the Blue Ridge, you're actually walking on truly ancient land. That's something to think about.
Oh boy, yeah, absolutely. I just thought about that. I was like, ooh, I better actually walk a little softer and gentler whenever I'm doing that.
Appreciate it a little more.
Yes, for sure. So we can't talk about the Blue Ridge Mountains without talking about the Appalachian people who are known for their resourcefulness and their creativity. These skills are born from generations of making do in the mountains. And not an easy life necessarily.
No, it was not easy. They had to make do with what they had. Sometimes that was very little. But families passed down these traditions of music, crafts, food, of course, which are still part of the culture today.
Yeah, which means Blue Ridge is known as the birthplace of Appalachian music, which means you got to check out the Crooked Road, which is Virginia's heritage music trail.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I've never been a big fan of bluegrass, but I appreciate it.
And you got the old Floyd Country Store where they do that every single Friday night, I think. And
so.
Last time I went by there, it was covered up inside and out.
In addition to music, though, storytelling was huge. Folk tales, ghost stories, ballads passed down through families, and those stories really reflected the struggles and the humor of mountain life. You like to talk about how my family out in the hollers, they sit down and we have this storytelling session that lasts for hours, and it is it's gripping, these tales that they tell. It's fascinating.
Yeah, you just sit there mesmerized.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Fact 2, the Blue Ridge Mountains aren't really blue.
Oh, you're giving them the secret before we keep going? What?
Yeah. Well, you're dying to know. So from far away, the mountains do look blue, kind of hazy, sometimes even purple, but the trees are definitely green.
Yeah, the color discrepancy happens because trees in the Blue Ridge release tiny particles called hydrocarbons into the air. And when sunlight hits those particles, it scatters light in a way that makes the mountains look bluish.
This goes back to our science days, doesn't it?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, let me give you a lecture here.
And that's why the name Blue Ridge stuck, because of that phenomena, if you will. I think it's really cool, and they do look blue. And then when you've got these beautiful red and orange sunsets, the contrast is just striking.
Yeah, and I will say, let me go back to the green trees, right? We have a lot of people who come and visit, people that move here, and they're like, oh my goodness, I've never seen such green lushness in their entire life. So yeah, you gotta come and see it, and then once you see it, you're gonna love it and you wanna stay, and that's when you call us to help you stay.
That's right, we're happy to help you make the move as smooth as possible. Fact 3, Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which is part of the Blue Ridge Ridge is the most visited national park in the entire U.S.
Now, and today, millions of people visit the Blue Ridge Mountains for popular activities like hiking, camping, fishing, and biking. Talking about the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, that's probably my first introduction to the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh.
And as I was hiking through there, lots of fun. However, guess what I saw on the trail?
What?
A snake.
We'll get to that in a minute, what the biodiversity is. 'Cause
Oh,
there's
okay.
a lot.
I'll hold off on that story then. Okay, we'll go back to that.
You know, all those activities that you listed are great, but there's also like this peacefulness and tranquility. A lot of people just come to the Blue Ridge Mountains just to seek peace. I mean, we're up here today and it is so quiet. You can hear the woodpeckers and the bird songs.
And the squirrels.
And the squirrels.
And a little bit of rain coming down on the trees.
It's so beautiful. And we're just 20 minutes from Roanoke, not even that.
No, that's like 10 minutes from downtown
From
Roanoke
downtown.
right here.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
And if you happen to be curious about the tallest mountain peak in the Blue Ridge, it is actually Mount Mitchell, which is in North Carolina, and it rises about 6,684 feet,
Wow.
making it the highest peak east of the Mississippi.
Hey, other tall peaks include Grandfather Mountain and Sharp Top Mountain, which we went to this
Yes,
summer.
oh my goodness, it was so windy up there.
Check out our video on Peaks of Otter, but each of these peaks have their own history and trails that you can enjoy.
Fact 4, the Appalachian Trail traverses through the Blue Ridge Mountains and is the world's longest hiking only footpath. I mean, even the Wall of China and stuff, it's even longer than that.
I don't think that's a hiking only footpath.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm just curious.
But I think it's really cool because it is over 2,000 miles long and it goes
I
through
guess so then.
14 eastern U.S. states from
Georgia
to-
starts all the way to the end up in Maine, if you look at it
Yes.
from that way.
And every year, about 3 million people hike a section of the AT, as we call it, or they do day hikes.
And of these 3 million, around 3,000 actually attempt a through hike, which means they hike the entire trail in one trip,
Wow.
and only about 1 in 4 actually complete it.
That's incredible.
Wow.
It usually takes about 5 to 7 months for a through hike.
And Virginia has the longest portion of the AT because it has more than 500 miles. Trails run right through the Roanoke Valley, making it one of the easiest spots to access the AT in the Mid-Atlantic.
You might be familiar with a place called McAfee Knob. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
If you are not, look it up. It's near Roanoke. It's one of the most photographed spots on the whole trail because of its dramatic rock ledge and sweeping mountain views. It is so iconic and just gorgeous. It's right in our backyard.
Yeah.
Love that.
And we still haven't hiked it. That is on our bucket list. We have to do it.
That's right.
We're gonna get up early one morning so we can see the sunrise.
Yes, wouldn't that be beautiful? But hey, if you go, make sure you pack accordingly. Lots of water, lots of snacks. It is a pretty strenuous hike, so prepare ahead of time.
Fact number 5, one of the most famous parts of the Blue Ridge is the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Oh, that's true. The Parkway is a scenic road. It stretches 469 miles through Virginia and North Carolina, and it's called America's favorite drive, with millions of people visiting it each year. We have a video on that, so check that out.
We're right off of that today with the Roanoke Mountain Campground that we're at. The Blue Ridge Parkway is right there, right there.
Yeah.
And it connects 2 national parks: Shenandoah National Park in the north, and then the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in the south.
Yeah, and here's your history lesson. You know, I love history. The road was started in 1935 during the Great Depression, and it was built as a way to create jobs and give Americans a place to enjoy nature. You've got all these vistas. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, as she was mentioning, there on the Parkway, there are more than 200 overlooks where you can stop, take pictures, or even go for a short hike.
That's amazing.
And in the fall, the Parkway is especially popular
Yeah.
because the leaves turn into a rainbow of reds and oranges and golds. It is just beautiful.
Yeah, and actually my parents went on their honeymoon. That's what they did. They drove the Blue Ridge Parkway and they stopped along the way at hotels, motels, and they just enjoyed the beauty of it all in October. So those brilliant fall colors were blooming. Fact number 6, the Blue Ridge Mountains are one of the most biodiverse regions in North America. We're gonna geek out about science a little bit here.
So thanks to the age of the mountains, elevation changes, rainfall, and protected lands, the Blue Ridge is home to over 2,000 species of plants.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Contains
amazing.
many different forest types, like deciduous, ooh, I said that word right, evergreen, and rich cove forest also.
You know, that could explain some allergies.
Maybe,
Just
yeah,
guessing.
yep.
In the spring, you're gonna see the mountains explode with wildflowers. I love trilliums, lady slipper orchids, bloodroots, violets. I mean, the list goes on and on. And then in the summer, the slopes are covered with rhododendron, azalea, mountain laurel. It's beautiful to go on hikes, well, year round. And then of course, fall, we already talked about the famous red, orange, and gold leaf display. I said blooming, I meant like display.
Bursting.
So bursting with color.
There we go. And there's animal diversity as well. Mammals, you'll find black bear, you'll find white-tailed deer, bobcats, coyotes, raccoons, foxes, squirrels, bats. And there's over 200 species of birds, including wild turkeys, woodpeckers, barred owls, hawks, warblers, and even falcons.
You love watching the birds, don't
I do.
you?
Oh
Yeah.
boy, we're talking about reptiles now?
Yes, in the way of reptiles and amphibians. Salamanders are especially abundant in southern Appalachians. We're called the salamander capital of the world.
That's why I have so many down at the cabin that
Yeah.
is rentable on Airbnb.
It is. And there's also snakes, your favorite.
Uh-huh.
There's black rat snakes, timber rattlesnakes, turtles, frogs. How do you feel about that?
I get very squirmy. And now I can finish my story. When I was hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park,
Yes.
I saw a snake come across the trail, and I screamed like a little girl, and I jumped up about this high. I've never jumped that high in my life, and it was pretty darn hysterical.
He's usually our protector in the family, but I do the snake patrol and duty.
So long before settlers, there were tribes like the Cherokee, the Shawnee, the Monacan Native Americans that lived in the Blue Ridge. You know, their farming, hunting, and storytelling traditions shaped the land that we're walking today.
Yeah, and then in 1700s, there were a lot of immigrants from Scotland, Ireland, Germany that moved to the mountains. And of course, their language, their music, their food became this backbone of Appalachian culture, which is really neat.
And the Appalachian culture that actually reflects a whole lot of ingenuity,
Yeah.
Not a lack of education. They just invented instruments like the banjo, the dulcimer, to develop unique farming and also crafting traditions as well, because they did it out of necessity and because
Yeah.
they had to.
Right, yeah. And not to mention like strong community ties, and churches were really central to community life. Neighbors helping each other. We still see that a lot today. And that's one thing I love about living in the South, that Southern hospitality. I think that's still present, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we hear people say that all the time. They come and visit. You walk into a diner and they also say, "Hey, sugar, can I get you some sweet tea?" Right?
Yeah.
That's my favorite saying.
So one bonus fact here, the Appalachian culture is still alive and well in the Blue Ridge Mountains.
And if you're visiting today, you can still find bluegrass festivals, storytelling events, quilting circles, and local markets that celebrate this specific heritage.
Yeah, I love seeing these younger generations keeping these traditions alive while still modernizing. You've got like breweries, art galleries, farm-to-table restaurants, all with a nod or preserving the heritage of the area. I love it.
And in places like the Roanoke Valley, you see this balance. It's a strong appreciation for what you just said, the heritage, alongside new opportunities with the healthcare, with outdoor recreation, and the arts here locally.
Yeah, so you can see now that the Blue Ridge Mountains are more than just pretty scenery. There's so much more to it.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on this journey, and we'll see you on the next video.